Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
And I see that evidently we're not, I don't know, we weren't picking up at first. So hopefully everybody's hearing this. I know I'm checking some of these out. We had a little glitch there right away. So I don't know what was going on. But we are live and we are on. So now. Yeah, I'm just kind of watching the numbers. Usually they're climbing. It's like nobody's out there on some of these. And I don't know. I can tell you right now, we had some issues here. So if I do know, guys, if you're trying to find us, I know YouTube's working, X is working, and I do know that the Sturm Guns in the 701 is working, as well as the Rumble channel. So that's where you need to go. I know that those are working right now. I don't know what happened at first, but we did have a little issue. Go figure, huh?
For now, until we say something they don't like and they mute us.
Yeah, no kidding. Ain't that the truth? All right. Hey, JD, he found us. He must have been the guy that got in there on the Sturm Wesson one, or the Guns in the 701 over there. So anyway, Vance, good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been pretty busy. Had a lot going on, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, no, glad to have you on here. Mike was trying to join in with us. He is in Aberdeen, South Dakota, on his way here for South Dakota. He's going to do some hunting. If I remember right, he's got a doe tag. I think his son has any deer tag. And I believe his father-in-law and his brother-in-law both got does, but I don't honestly remember. So I guess we'll find out when they get here, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian Warner, good evening, Mr. Fellow MVE. So I wonder if we're still going to be classified MVEs after the new administration comes in. I mean, we are right now, which I wear like a badge of honor. But I kind of figure if I don't have my own satellite assigned to me, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure all of our group is on lists all over the government's desks.
I imagine so. We got a long ways till January 20th, don't we yet?
Who's running the country?
I have no clue. But with that in mind, I'm going to let you do the honors here. We need to start the show like we do every single show, and that's with our Second Amendment.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's right. Shall not be infringed. And I don't, every time I hear this or read it, I don't know how this is any clearer, really. I mean, think about it. Hey, Trampus, good to have you coming on here. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? I mean, it's 27 words. There's nothing to interpretate there. Not at all.
The last four say it all. Shall not be infringed.
That's right. That's right. Hey, yeah, JD says, don't forget to tell the viewers that our original Guns in the 701 Facebook page is now history. Yeah, so if you're looking for that, it's gone. I mean, you couldn't do anything there anyway. I figured that we were probably banned for 10 years. By the time I saw the notification, it was 3,000 and some days. Well, I imagine it was 3,656 days, which would be 10 years. So the old page is gone. I'm not going to try to revive it. I do think I was able to download some of the information. Maybe we can find our followers and our subscribers, but I don't know. I requested it. That I haven't seen any notifications yet, and I'm not going to hold my breath. I'll put it that way.
Why don't they just give you a ban, a lifelong ban, 10 years? What do they think you're going to do in 10 years? Ooh, I get to get back on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I did get banned for life. My original
Page, yeah.
personal profile was me and Marty Beard and Trump. We all got banned for life. Although I think they let Trump back on now. So I guess I got to run for president. I don't know. Hey, Trampus, now I know that you're listening here. I'm guessing you're heading up to this weekend to Bismarck for the State Farm Bureau. Just let me know if you are or not. Like I said, I got to go up there by myself this time. Danelle's planning to go with. So anyway, let me know because things are supposed to be set up at that motel, but it hasn't been great there. But I'll probably get up there fairly early just so I can get everybody checked in. So just so you know, everything should be set. I'll bring your wife along, right? It's always more fun, they say. All right, so I got asked a couple things today, and I had some things prepared as well, but I'm going to address this. As you all know, the Ukraine under Biden, I guess, gave them permission to launch our weapons, I imagine, into Russia's territories. And what do I think that is going to, what's going to be the consequences? I don't know. I mean, I know that Putin and Trump evidently talked. That was all over the news.
Right.
They talk, and then Trump had a rapport with him while he was president his first term. I'm hoping that will play out. I think Biden or whoever's running the country is trying to start a war just to create havoc and chaos here in the United States and make it just as miserable for Trump as they can. Maybe even trying to stop him. So hopefully that doesn't work. But that little tyrant, you know what? We do not belong in Ukraine as far as I'm concerned. I've never thought we had. And to arm them like we have has been a mistake.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be there. And what's funny is me and Jamie, we talked about this. It did do one thing, Vance. The AR-15 finally became a weapon of war.
Finally.
After
the Democrats have used it for years and it's never seen war.
Never was a weapon of war, and now it's a weapon of war because we shipped them. Think about it. They want to take them away from the United States citizen, but they want us to pay for some and ship them to Ukraine or who knows where else they're shipping them to and give them out like candy. Here, just go ahead and have one. I mean, it just, do you see the issue, people?
This war is the definition of it is not our war.
This one it is for sure. Hey, Dan Brown, good to have you on here. Mike, screw Russia. We don't give them guns and weapons so that can sit there and rust. I want Russia beat, and I want to find the pro-Russian talk difficult. Okay. That's from Deacons. I don't like Russia either. I mean, Russia was part of the axis of evil all the way through. That's the Cold War.
Yeah.
We finally took down the USSR. I guess it wasn't really Russia. It was the United Soviet. I forget the actual acronym anymore, but USSR Republic, Soviet Republic, I guess is what it was.
Yeah.
And they pretty much took over that whole area, and they did, and they were part of the axis of evil. That's what sparked the arms race, and I don't think they can be trusted. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you right now, we do not want to go to World War III because it will be Russia, China, and Iran. I have no doubt, probably North Korea too.
Yeah, North Korea. And this is just, to me, we don't need to be there. We don't need to be at all. That we had no reason to be involved in this, other than all the money that Ukraine's been giving Biden for all the years.
Well, I think it's a big money laundering scheme.
Yeah,
and this is probably one last ditch effort to launder as much as they can before they leave office. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, there is so much to fix. I know everyone has. I voted Trump, obviously. I think he was the only guy that can even make a dent in this thing, but I don't think he can fix it in 4 years at all.
No.
too much. Now he can make one heck of a start. Hopefully, we can set somebody else up to continue it after that. But I think he's going to shake things up. I mean, look at his nominations already. I'm excited about a lot of them. I'm the guy that he's nominated for Secretary of Defense. That guy knows combat.
Yeah.
He's served. He's been there. He's been boots on the ground. He's going to clean house. And that interview I seen when he says the DEI and the woke, it has to go. I absolutely agree. And the house of cards is starting to fall all around. I've been seeing it. So
and we got the power now. We have the power.
Kind of. We got the house. We got the house. Probably. I mean, we do have the house. It's going to be a slim majority again.
Yeah.
But I have no faith, no trust of John Thune. And remember, I worked for this guy and supported him. And when we unseated Tom Daschle, he was a different man then. I don't have any faith in him. I think he's been there way too long and become the creature that he always campaigned against. We'll see. Remember, he was a never Trumper. Thune was. Let's not forget that.
That's
so
right.
Mike Deakins, he says, if Russia takes Ukraine, they will go into Poland, Estonia, move the map closer to Europe, and then we are effed with the Cold War again. It could be, Mike. It very well could be. We won that too, though. I mean, when you put it down to it, Russia was too afraid to do anything to us because they knew we would come back with the same exact might.
Yeah.
I have no doubt Putin wants to put back the old Soviet bloc. I have no doubt about that. I mean, what say you, Vance? I think that's exactly.
I think you're dead on that, Clay.
Yeah, but I don't trust Ukraine, and I sure as hell will not send my son to shed blood in defense of Ukraine. Won't happen. Then we're gonna have a war right here.
Right.
I'm not doing it. There's no honor in that, for one, as far as I'm concerned. And both my boys are in that. They're in that age bracket, and the Democrats and the commies in the Democrat Party have run our military down so much that they can't even hit recruiting goals. So I think that'll change now with Trump in there. But
yeah, he's got such a stronger stance in foreign policy and everything. People know he means what he says when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And for the last 4 years, we've had this babbling, whatever he is, moron, that nobody knew what he was saying, much less going to take him serious.
He was a placeholder. I mean, think about this: 15 to 20 million votes vanished from the last election. Of course, they did give everybody a China virus shot, so that could account for some of that. They died. And I can tell you this, a lot of people that took that shot, they weren't on our side. They were on the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be part of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm off base here. Doug says, oh, hey, because I think if World War III does kick off, Hunter Biden should be the first one on the line. Amen to that. Amen to that.
He'll be having enough cocaine in him. He won't feel any shots anymore.
Yeah. You know who won't be there, though, is people like him. They won't be on the line. They'll want to send our men, our women, our sons and daughters. It is not. This one is not ours to fight. It just truly is not. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I wanted to address that. I got asked that today, and I said, you know what? I can address it. It's not really in our wheelhouse, but it kind of is, I guess. To me, it's again about rights. It's about our Constitution.
Yeah.
And here's my biggest issue with this whole thing is to launch rockets into a territory that you've been warring with now for over a year, almost a year, before the incoming administration and new Congress coming in is BS. And that was done purposely for many reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it was to basically hand Trump a shit show. Let's just face it. That's what that's about.
Yeah.
Maybe even
I don't believe they're done trying to take Trump out.
I don't either. I think he needs to be more vigilant right now.
Yeah, I think not just with convictions and all that other mess. I think there'll be other assassination attempts before January 20th. I think they're going to do everything they can to take him out, sabotage his administration, do everything they can to keep him from succeeding.
It'll be interesting for the inauguration to see how they handle it. I doubt they're going to build a fake stage like they did for Biden's. That was just the dumbest thing I ever saw, too. And then I don't think they're going to put that big ass wall. I mean, right around that whole area like they did.
Yeah.
But who knows? I can tell you this, so I imagine there's going to be a lot of bulletproof glass, barriers, and it's going to be one of the most protected events that we've ever seen.
Yeah. It'll have to be.
It has to be. I mean, I agree that it has to be. Otherwise, and I don't doubt over these next 4 years, you're going to see attempts more so.
I mean, there was 2 attempts on him
already.
when he wasn't just
yeah.
during his campaign, not even while he was in presidency.
Yep.
So I fully believe they're going to try to take him out, sabotage him, do whatever they can. They don't want him to succeed because then the American people, even those on the other side of the aisle, will see that the conservative policies work.
Oh yeah. Well, we all know
they don't want that. They don't
policies and tax policy and everything else is tried. It works. I mean, and then all things are good. The times get great, and people get complacent, and all of a sudden, boom, we have a shift, and then you get what we had the last 4 years. And I guess maybe you look at it. I do believe that God's always in control. I'm sure as you do.
Yeah.
And I guess we had to have some suffering. There's nowhere in the Bible says you're not going to not suffer.
No, it promises we will go through trials and tribulations.
That's right. And I think we just went through some pretty hard ones, but they can be much harder too. So anyway, I'm going to get off of that. That's really not our thing, but I wanted to address it because I actually got asked that several times, and I thought, okay, I'll say something about it, and it's probably good discussion to have. But
yeah,
well, I tell you what, I think this is a great time. Let's take one of our first timeouts, and we'll come back. And you know what? I got a little story about Mr. Sylvester Stallone. Everyone's rah on him. I still think he's a commie, pinko. And I don't want him in there. I don't even want him near Trump. So let's hope that Trump understands what that man used to be and what he still believes when it comes to the Second Amendment. All right. Let's take a quick break.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Bandit.
Brother. Hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, welcome back again. Thanks to our great sponsors. You know, this show is not possible without having the sponsors. And people think this is free. It's not free. You got to maintain your platform. You got to maintain your equipment. I mean, it's not a huge expense if you do like we do it. But I'm telling you, it's not free, and it does take cash to do it. And as everything does, right?
That's right.
So again, thanks to our great sponsors and Lauer Auto Repair. They've been with us since the very beginning, and we appreciate Doug down there. Axe and the boys do a great job, and we couldn't do it without them. And Jamie's got 701 Nation over there. Now, I don't know if Jamie's doing one this week. I don't think so. I think he's going to be out there chasing deer just like the rest of us. And by the way, I was looking up the future dates. Christmas falls on the 25th, actually falls on Wednesday, and Christmas Eve on Tuesday. So I assume Jamie's not going to do one. I'm not going to do one that week. And then, of course, 7 days later is New Year's Eve. So for 2 weeks, there will not be a Guns and 701 program for sure. Maybe I'll schedule a rerun. Maybe I'll play the pilot, the very, very first one. Maybe I'll set that up as an event they can play, and people want to tune in, they can get a good laugh, because boy, was that primitive. So, all right. So I'm sure you saw it. I'm sure everybody else did. What do you think, Vance? Did you see Stallone when he was down at Mar-a-Lago?
I didn't see that.
So he was down there. I was actually shocked that he was down there. I don't know if he was scheduled to be there, but nonetheless, he was there, and that was at the AFPI gala that was held at Mar-a-Lago. And he's up there just basically praising President Trump, which I guess that's good. I mean, how many celebrities did we see go out there? You got George Clooney and Julia Roberts, and name your celebrity, and they were all for Harris, right?
Yeah.
So to see Stallone up there, and then a fight, and he tried to bring I guess Rocky's character into this. Really, when I've seen it, great, right? He must be on our side, right?
Well,
yeah, not so much, I bet. He gets up there and he says that he was going through it. He classified Trump as a guy like Rocky, saying he was going through a metamorphosis to change lives. And then I don't know if people remember, but Mr. Sylvester Stallone, so he did admit he did not vote in 2016 or 2020. So no support there, right?
yeah.
He didn't come out and officially endorse Trump like so many did leading up to the election. I mean, even Hulkster got up there at the RNC convention, and Trumpomania was born, right? I mean, come on, Hulk Hogan. And there were several others that started stepping up, going, okay, that's not, you got John Rich from Big and Rich, but he's been big supporter of his since the beginning.
Yeah.
When you start seeing these guys and they stepped up and said enough, Elon Musk, I mean, I don't know if you call him a celebrity. I guess he's kind of a celebrity, but he finally he put his money where his mouth was. You started seeing these dominoes start falling with the celebs or with the elites, and finally people said, this is enough. We got to make this change. And they switched over and got behind Trump. Well, Sylvester Stallone was not one of them people. So he decided he was going to give this a deal. He didn't really, he didn't get up there and endorse him. He got over there and basically hitched his wagon to Trump. And a lot of people do that. They see a winner, right? And they I got to be with. And Trump, of course, Trump's a promoter, isn't he? Would you say no if even one of your enemies who might be popular with people wants to support you? Well, I probably would say no either.
Going to reach a people group that you might not normally reach.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the grief that me and Jamie took for being on Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. And Michael Bell's been nothing but genuine with us, and he's been very good with us. He's actually interested in the Second Amendment. But I can tell you, we probably don't. I know we don't agree on everything. Measure 4 was one of them things in North Dakota, and he knew it. I knew it. I don't agree on the carbon solutions pipeline with him, but we're still friends, and that's how it should work.
Yeah.
And we go on the show because, he made us an offer, and we said, yeah, let's be it. And we're reaching probably a whole new group of people that generally probably weren't listening,
right?
Or that we were reaching. Either way, I think it's been a win-win for both of us. I'm sure we brought him some new people, and we definitely reached some of his. So you're on the biggest radio station in North Dakota, really, with the reach with 550 AM. Why wouldn't we do that? Well, same thing here.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone has a following. I mean, when you think of Sylvester Stallone, what's the first thing that pops up in your head?
Rocky,
right? That's Rocky, right? That's a Philly boy, the whole thing. And that's the big thing. So why wouldn't you let him speak and support you and say nice things about you? I guess that would be no different, I suppose. Anyway, he gets up there, and the thing is he referenced the Rocky character. Then he actually referenced Schwarzenegger, which that was, I don't know. He must have thought we all forgot about what Arnold did. I mean, here's a guy from Austria comes over here, lives the dream, literally lives the American
Yeah.
dream. But yet he thinks there, hey, Michael, good to see you. And yes, I'm telling you right now, Michael is a fan of the show, or as we are of his, and we appreciate him and KFYR, because we're reaching people and we are changing minds on especially on the Second Amendment firearms. So, Michael, thanks for listening in there. So, I can tell you right now, though, guys, Sylvester Stallone is not one of us. Let me read you a few of his comments. He says, until America, door to door, takes every handgun, and this is what you're going to have, Stallone said. And he declared this after Phil Hartman was murdered by his wife. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just an observation. It was a call to action. He really was calling for essentially the government to go door to door and confiscate guns, especially handguns. He went on to say, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic, and it's sad. We're living in the dark ages here. It has to be stopped, and someone really has to go on the line, a certain dauntless political figure, and say, it's ending. It's all over. All bets are off. It's not 200 years ago. We don't need this anymore, and the rest of the world doesn't have it. Why should we? And he was referencing firearms, especially handguns. I remember when that was going on. Now, let's remember, he says, I love this. He says, the rest of the world doesn't have it.
They don't have the freedom we have either.
They don't have a constitution, as you said. They don't have the freedom, but the rest of the world does not have that. There are several countries in the world that do allow firearms ownership. Some of it's very restricted. Some of it is not. Some of it's required. Was it Sweden or Switzerland where they required everybody to have what was it, an M16 and learn how to use it? And they had to serve, I believe it was 2 years in the military, no matter what, upon graduation. I got to look that up again. I know there was a country at one time that had that. So it hasn't always been that. The rest of the world doesn't have it. Some are more restricted. Look at how that's worked in Europe and Australia, though. Not very well, has it?
No.
I mean,
I forget what the stats were, but Australia was it 300% higher the first year after they did the big ban?
yeah.
It might have been higher than that, but I want 300 is popping into my head, I think.
And they didn't just destroy what you would call, what people would call, weapons of war or destructive weapons of the day. I mean, they were chopping up and melting down lever action Winchesters, antiques, collectibles. Those images of the bulldozers and trashing those guns were real. That's what they were doing. They essentially collected all the guns and left everybody with maybe a shotgun and a single shot. I don't even know. I haven't looked in a long time to see what the regs are in Australia, but they pretty much disarmed the people of Australia. And fast forward from the 90s into the 2020s when the China virus came out, and look what they did to the people. They had no means to defend themselves whatsoever. But nobody has a constitution like us. That's true.
Yeah.
Nobody has a Second Amendment written as we do in those 27 words. And that is the difference of a.
And without the Second Amendment, without our guns, we can't protect the rest of them. It's the most important.
It's the most important to me. I mean, there's 5 parts of the First Amendment, which are all pretty important too. But if you have no means to protect yourself from the government, then you're just a serf. You're just a servant. And that's what we would become. You'd become a subject of the state. And that's what those other countries are. I mean, let's face it. The people in Britain, I mean, think about this. They were huge hunters, remember? I mean, that was their thing. And there was no issues with it. That happened later on as they got more and more control. They started regulating. They started saying you could do this, you can't do this, you can't have this gun, you can have this one. And now they have what they have. Where I think pretty much if you even have a shotgun, it's got to be kept at a shooting club, I believe, and locked up there. I don't even think it can be in your home. And you can only use it for sporting purposes. I do believe so.
Yeah, and I got friends up in Canada that we did that TV show in Florida a few years back, and took some of them hog hunting, and they were from Canada, and they were absolutely amazed at the guns we had and were able to use, the freedom we had to carry them around, because we go to lunch and stuff, go out from Chris's place and go into town, and we'd all have our guns on our side. And they were like, you can't do that. And then, yeah, here you can.
Yeah.
And they were telling us some of the laws and stuff up there. And you can't have like a range in your backyard like you do. You go out there and shoot. You can't do that. You can't shoot on your property. You have, when you transport your firearm to, and that's another thing on their TV show. You can't call them guns; they're firearms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that they can broadcast in Canada.
So obviously they don't have a First Amendment either.
You gotta, you think about our founders and the foresight they had to write something that long ago, and it's how relevant it is today.
Yeah.
I mean, were they the smartest men in the world? I don't know. I mean, I don't think. Of course, intelligence is different than smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to have the foresight, and I suppose it come from, they just fought a revolutionary war. They knew what they didn't want. They knew what they were subject to, and they didn't want any of that. And they wanted something that would last and you could build on, and it would go long, long beyond their expectations.
Yeah. They would be rolling over in their graves right now. They knew how bound up we were.
Yes.
Because we're more bound up than the countries that they fled from.
Yeah. Well, they fought a war over taxes. Michael Deacons, it's more of haves and have-nots in England. If you have money, you can own pistols and rifles. Okay, and that's probably true over there. It's that way in just about any of the Democrat-controlled areas. Think about this. Sylvester Stallone, you know what he has? He has a permit to carry in California. That's about impossible to get unless you're of a certain statute and class, really, in the state of California. But yet, then he attends, anti-gun organization rallies and events as a hypocrite because they're against that. They don't want that. They don't want you to have semi-autos. Everything that he was doing at that event and supporting, they're against.
Yeah.
And
he's another one of those hypocrite celebrities. Name a Rocky or a Stallone movie besides the Rocky trilogies that don't involve guns.
Oh my goodness.
Rambo, I mean, the cop shows he did, all the Rambo series,
the Expendables.
Yeah.
I don't like most of Hollywood, but I was watching the Expendables the other night. So for a guy that doesn't like guns, especially machine guns,
yeah,
he sure seems to favor them when he can make a lot of money off of the movie. And obviously, yes, it's entertainment, but the value of human life in those movies, zero, none. They kill. I was trying to keep counting that one opening scene, and I think I counted like 57 that I could actually keep up with. It's like 57 people just were shot and killed supposedly in the opening scene. It's like, wow, that's quite a toll, isn't it?
Yeah, and some of the, not Rambo 1 or maybe 2, but some of the later ones, the more recent ones,
right?
It's just bloodbath after bloodbath.
Yes, it is. It is, and a lot of his movies are that way. So were Stallone or so were Schwarzenegger's. That's fine. I mean, look at Terminator, all those movies, and that's fine. But then don't go. You're going to go make millions of dollars off of it, and then tell me that I have to give up my Second Amendment right.
Yeah,
it don't work that way. It really don't. Yeah. So anyway, I just had to hit on that. Mike Deek says, like Liam Neeson, who is all about guns, but is anti. Yeah, I mean, I've watched
all his movies too. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got some good. That's what sucks. Some of them guys are very talented actors. I like their movies, but then you know what they think, and it's like, I finally quit going to their movies because I don't want to support them.
Agree. I'm that way with Kevin Costner. I like Kevin Costner in his westerns, Dances with Wolves, Open Range. I like it, but I know where he stands.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, tell you what, there's been a lot of. Should we go through some of these comments?
Go for it.
Let me get to them here. Let's see. Jamie, he chimed in. He says, I may do one this next Tuesday because the next Thursday is Thanksgiving. I won't be doing one either. Okay, so 701 Nation, talking about doing one next Tuesday. We'll keep you informed on that. And if you know what you're going to do there, Jamie, we'll announce it here. Otherwise, I can do it Friday on Todd's show on Mitchell in the Morning on KFYR. Hey, Jay Titan. He says, my brother, how you been? I'm doing good. He says, I'm actually watching tonight after surgery. Glad Trump won and the channel is doing well. We appreciate that. And yeah, we've been chugging along. We keep growing. We're happy. We're blessed. And hopefully everybody enjoys it. We had Michael Bell on here. Thanks again, Mike. Yeah, Kid Rock. I know that's what he meant. He got Kid Rock, but Kid Rock for 2 Azar. There we go. That would be fun, wouldn't it? You know, say what you want about Kid Rock, but I would love to see somewhere in Trump's circle for Kid Rock because it will just tweak the other side so bad.
Can you imagine if he took some people like Kid Rock, Hank Jr., John Rich, some of those hardcore hunter
Yes.
conservative celebrities and surrounded himself with them and put them into some positions?
How about this? U.S. Fish and Wildlife,
Oh, yeah.
Forest Service. I mean,
Yeah.
you got Noam going to be at what, the Department of Interior? Is that where he put her? No, where'd he put Noam? I can't remember.
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security. Okay.
Yeah.
Department of Interior is going to be, and I've been keeping up here lately, but can you imagine putting Kid Rock, drop Kid Rock, Don Jr., like you said, the guys like that, Hank Jr., them guys all hunt and fish. They know firearms. I mean, just like our great governor now, elect Kelly Armstrong, this is a real guy. They're real guys. They
Yeah.
know their firearms. They know how to hunt. They know how to get it done. Brian Warner, Uncle Ted, there you go. Have Eddie Nugent in there. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine having those guys in the heads, some of those? Oh, man, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? You want to
Yeah,
shake
man.
them up. I think the
You would
news.
see Democrat heads explode.
Oh man, and there's nothing they could do about it. There's nothing you do about it. Deacon says if you're poor, okay. So how about if you're poor? No way no way they will turn you down every time. And I have no doubt that's how it is over in some of those other countries. Yeah, Uncle Teddy, Brian, I think that'd be great. Said I would offer. He said I would offer a position to Tulsi Gabbard. I thought he did, didn't he? Maybe he did.
I thought he did too.
I can't remember what it was. I said I was keeping up on all that, and I've been kind of busy around here. MTG, I'm with you on there, Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I don't
Georgia
think
girl.
she wants one. I think she likes where she's at the moment, and rightfully so as a rep. I mean, she's getting it done in there, isn't she, Vance?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she is. She
holds their feet to the fire, and I'd like to see Mike Johnson give her a more of a leadership position and turn her loose. Not one with strings. Just say, here, you're in charge. You're now whatever XYZ position of leadership. Because I think she would make heads roll.
She's got backbone. She ain't afraid to speak the truth. She doesn't, she don't care about poll numbers. She don't care about politically correct. She's speaking the truth and for the people.
For the people, absolutely. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she's one of them that she says that and does the things she does because she don't care if she gets elected or not. She believes that she's following the Constitution and trying to take care of the people according to the Constitution. And she obviously has their support. She wins her elections, but I don't think she cares about trying to do the PC thing so she can get elected or who she. I mean, obviously she don't care who she offends, and I love that. That's real.
Yeah, I think she's a fighter. She's going to fight for the people.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I like MTG. I really do. I think she'd be good, don't you? In somewhere.
Oh, yeah. And another one was from Colorado, Boebert.
Yeah, Laura. Is it
Lauren Boebert? Something like that.
Bobart, I believe it, or something like that.
Yeah, she's another one that's a scrapper.
Oh yeah, she. In fact, I watched her and MTG get into it on Steve Bannon's show one time, and they like each other, I think. But they even get into some squabbles, which I can say. I mean, we don't all agree. Me and Mike, Deacon's here. He's part of our show, but we don't always agree on everything. But we're still all friends.
Yeah,
we can have differing opinions. It's just
that's what freedom is about. We can disagree. We can have our own opinions. We can say what we want, disagree, and still get along.
Absolutely. And no, I'm not singing Kumbaya, everybody. I'm not gonna change who I am or what I believe, but we definitely can have different opinions and still be good friends and get along and sit around a campfire and hunt some deer or whatever it might be.
We have the freedom, we have the right to believe what we believe and vote the way we vote. And
absolutely. I mean, it's just like when we go down there to Florida, and you know what? That's probably I look forward to that every time we do it. But let's just face it, William, and I like Will. Well, you know, up there, he's a hardcore guy, and we differ on a lot of things. I don't think that's ever going to change. But we still sit around the campfire and have a good time.
Yeah, and go hunting and celebrating each other's harvest.
And I know if everyone always thought him and I was like, no, you know what? He's a pretty blunt guy, just like me. I'm good with that. Like I said, him and I aren't always going to agree. He does come from an Eastern liberal area, and he's a fireman, and God bless him for that. I know he does a good job at that. But him and I on a lot of things we're going to disagree on. Even though I do know he's fairly conservative, but he's nowhere near where I am. And that's fine. That's fine. Kumbaya, Amado. You can put up there. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, let's put that one up there. Where is it at? Yeah. Jay Titan. He says, "How do you guys feel about Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana?" You want to take this one first? You know who he is, right?
Yeah, I know him, and I think he's a good choice. I think he's strong. I think he's wise. I think he's got experience. I think he's a good choice.
Well, John Kennedy, I love watching him in them committee meetings. The guy, he don't pull no punches. And he brings logic and common sense to a body that seems to be lacking in that. And he just puts their feet to the fire when he's questioning someone. And these are not got you questions. I hear that a lot. Oh, Kennedy, he was out there, No, he's asking real questions of the people in charge of, say, name your alphabet agency. And I'm with him. If you can't answer these questions, then what are you doing heading it up? Because you obviously have no idea what's going on beyond the door of your office, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've been in charge of a lot of big things. And I know the integral workings of it. And I know what the people are doing under me because I tasked them with that because I trusted them, right? You saw the structure we had here in the Dakotas, and we were very profitable from it.
Yeah.
And I eliminated a lot of people. Remember that?
Yep.
I don't like to. Well, I do kind of like to brag. I fired the most volunteers of any field rep with the NRA in the first year when I first got hired. But I had to replace them. It made me work harder actually because I had to actually go and build up then from there. But it worked. We got rid of the people that weren't with us. We got rid of those that were there doing things they'd done. I mean, how many times I heard, well, we've always done it that way. Don't care. That ain't my vision. Well, we're not going to do it that way no more.
Yeah.
And it worked. And as soon as I retired and someone else took over, well, things fell apart. You have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Kennedy. He's in there with a real life situation and he brings some kinds of things to the table. I think we got Mike back. Mike, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, he's in the dark now, though. You must be on the road.
I'm in the car. Yeah, it's a bit windy outside.
Yeah, it might go down as you're making your way here. Mike is on his way here to my neck of the woods. There was Jackson.
Yep.
And they're going to try to, they're going to try their hand at taking a few of these West River deer over here. Now, don't get down on him. He's from East River, but we accept Mike over here.
Like I said, I've always wanted to buy a small piece of land up there, and have you just put like one bowl on it or something, so I can consider myself an owner.
There you go. Something like 5 acres somewhere, right?
Yeah, something like
this is Mike's place. Even if you bought 5 acres in North Dakota, that ain't enough to get a gratis tag, and you still couldn't hunt it unless you got the out of state.
I know.
Anyway, Jamie says, I'm willing to give Stallone another chance. Don't forget, less than 10 years ago, Trump and Elon Musk are pretty anti-gun guys. Fair enough, Jamie. Fair enough. And we'll see where Stallone goes with this. I guess I'll keep my mind open on that one. Yes, I said that. I don't say that often, but I will do that. And there has been, we've seen a lot of people flip from their way of thinking. And Elon Musk is a good example of that. It really is.
You want to sit up here, Jack?
Yeah.
But as far as John Kennedy goes, yeah, Jay, I love that guy. I think he's an asset.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big asset to Trump. in the administration.
Yeah, I mean, so now RFK Jr. Robert Kennedy.
Yeah.
As far as him being in, Mike, I'm going to mute you here for a little bit.
Yeah, mute me real quick. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Jack hit my arm.
No, there. Oh, there. I think we got you now. So when you take RFK Jr., I think that guy is going to be tasked, with what he's doing, Health and Human Services, and that's the task. Trump is a guy that does that. He tasks you, but he don't want you going out of that wheelhouse. He's given you your task. Go do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think Kennedy, Robert RFK Jr., I think he's right on a lot of this. I'm not a big chemical farmer advocate anymore. I used to not think much of it, but I can't deny what's going on there. I really can't. As far as the medications and the drugs, we're the most over-medicated, over-drugged society on earth. And are we healthier?
Yep.
No. And the things that are going, I'm going to bring you back online here, Mike. I can tell you right now, things that are going into our foods are horrible when you start looking at them. So I think RFK Jr. is going to really be an asset to Trump's cabinet. What are you doing? Mike, you want to chime in on that one?
Do I agree on what you said about the foods and everything? Yeah. But when I look at RFK Jr., he's a fool. He's a fool and an idiot, and I think the brain worm ate more than freaking we know. But I'm sorry, but that guy. I mean, there are certain people in our party that we look at, and I just can't back. I mean, just that guy. That guy is a whack job. I mean, and I mean, we've all done our things, our goofy ass things and stuff like that. But I mean, I just think not everybody that's friends with Trump should get themselves appointed to something. It's not the old boys club.
I'm with you on that
to
one.
the table.
I'm with you on that. I think he does. I don't know. To me, I think Trump's going to run this like his business. He isn't afraid to fire people. And I mean, he even publicly said, hey, Bobby, you ain't going near the energy, the oil and the gas. He knows he's a wackadoodle on environmental stuff like that. But I think he's going to let him dig down and go after this stuff with additives to food. He knows he's an anti-gunner. I mean, Bobby Jr. is an anti-gunner, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near that kind of policy. So we'll see. I don't think Trump's going to let him get out of that wheelhouse. I really don't. And if he starts getting out of line, I think he'll fire him.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I think
yeah. You must be traveling again.
trying to figure out. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Mute me for a second. I'll be back.
You know how to come back on. You can come back on here. I'm going to mute you right now because it's really coming back hard on.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
All right. So we got Mike with us, kind of.
Yeah.
Travel. But as far as RFK Jr., I know I know he's an anti-gunner as far as that goes. He's anti-Second Amendment. He was running on that, even in his own campaign. Am I skeptical? Yes. But I do think he's an asset. I think his knowledge for what he's being tasked with, I think he's going to be good in there, and he is going to shake it up. I want to see a lot of people fired. I don't know about you, Vance. All the way. Yeah. When you talk about Second Amendment, I want the ATF cleaned out and or abolished, whatever needs to happen.
The IRS.
IRS as well. And
remember, everybody, I'm write them a check every month, but they just
don't get started on that.
But yeah, I see the IRS as just a giant mafia to collect for the government.
They are. Hey, Dougie, he's chiming in here. He says, I agree with Jamie listening to Joe Rogan. He says there's a lot of actors that have been afraid to go along with Trump fearing retribution. And that's true. I think you're right. I think that's why a lot of them didn't do it as well. But no matter who they come out for, if it's a Republican, I mean, do you guys remember when Bruce Willis came out as a Republican? Doesn't that sound weird? He came out like, as a Republican, and he wasn't even a hardcore one. But then all of a sudden, Hollywood tried to kind of smear him and not give him job. But Bruce Willis was big enough that he came back. And it wasn't. Now, of course, he's not going to be making any more movies ever again. His disease has just overtaken him.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, I don't think Clint Eastwood's a conservative, but he definitely woke up a little bit. I mean, remember when he said, hey, here's the empty chair at the RNC convention?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are actors that are doing it, and Hollywood used to be. You remember this? Hollywood used to be conservative years and years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronald Reagan was a Democrat at that time, and he was a minority in Hollywood. Think about
but
that.
back when Ronald Reagan was a Democrat, they were a more conservative people. I
They
mean,
were.
look at JFK. He would be a Republican today with his beliefs.
Oh, he probably got run out of his party by, you know. Yeah, when you look at it, it used to be a Republican versus Democrat, right? It's not that anymore. It isn't even conservative versus liberal. The Republican Party, I think, is very much fundamentally changed under Trump. You can't deny it. Better or bad, worse or not, or for better or good, I can tell you right now, it has fundamentally changed, and it has shifted. Would you agree with that?
Oh,
A
absolutely.
huge shift. And I think it's we, the people, are tired of what we've been seeing. And having Trump come in and say, hey, I'm with you guys. And think about this. This guy is a billionaire, but yet he still can relate to regular people, you know? And to see that fundamental change and shift in the Republican Party has been a breath of fresh air to me. I think it started with the Tea Party. I do believe that's where it started. It just never finished. And then Trump come along and basically picked up the torch and created MAGA. I mean, okay. Yeah, John Wayne was a conservative. Yeah, absolutely.
I would agree with Doug there, where he says Brandon Herrera for ATF if I just didn't want to see the ATF go away.
Well, yeah, I think Brandon Herrera would be awesome. I mean, that guy, I love watching him on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be an excellent guy to put in there. Just as good as the guy that they're putting in, Secretary of Defense. But you know what? Maybe he'd go in there, and if he can't clean it up, maybe that's what they do. It's okay to get rid of things. I think the Department of Education needs to be gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because something's created doesn't mean it should have a forever lifespan. It should not go on perpetually. If it needs to go, it needs to go. Deacons, yep, it needs to go. I think we're all in agreement there. ATF should go bye-bye. I think it should. We don't, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That should be a convenience store, not an agency.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Yeah, he can actually take down a Glock. There you go. Yeah, everyone who don't remember the current ATF. You mean like taxes? Deacon says, yeah, they're there forever, right? Taxes, once they're there, they never sunset unless they're forced, like we did in 1994 with the assault weapons ban. But that was one of the things when NRA actually, we knew we were going to lose that. We couldn't stop it. All they could do is litigate it, and the sunset clause was a big one. And in 2004, that's what happened.
Assault weapons didn't get banned in 1994.
No, they didn't. They got restricted. They couldn't be imported.
They didn't get restricted. You can't define a friggin' assault weapon.
Oh, there you go. Well, let's just say they tried. So tell you what, let's see. JD says, pretty sure Trump said he's not getting rid of the ATF, but he's going to clean it out, the anti-Second Amendment rats. And I think that's probably what more so is going to happen. And yeah, it's a start. It definitely is a start. I do think too that I'm hoping that through this next 4 years that somebody's in there that's going to be being prepped or being, pushed to take that torch and run with it in the next election, because we only got him for 4 years.
Yeah,
and we're going to need somebody, and we need somebody who can go another 8 and continue it. It's going to take that long to clean this mess up.
We'll see how JD Vance does in this term.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. There's a lot of good people out there, and it's just I don't know who rises to the top of that, but we're going to get a good start. Jay says, Clay, you hit the nail on the head. It's not Republican versus Democrat. It's good versus evil. You can feel it if you're a true American patriot. This election was too seriously make us American. I think you're right. And I'll go a step farther. It was Marxist communist. Let's face it. That's what the Democrat Party has become. Now, not that we don't have them in our own party, but they're losing power in our party. And we saw that huge shift. And that's on top. We saw this huge shift away. They're called establishments. They're called rhinos. They're called a lot of things. But let's just face it. They're socialists. And I remember my old pastor used to say, and he goes, and my dad told me this. He goes, the Democrats are running as fast as they can to socialism and communism, and the Republicans are just at a slow trot behind them. And there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've never forgotten it. Deke says if you don't get rid of the agency, then defund them, and that's one way to curb them. You want to control the agency? cut their funding.
Yeah, control the money.
Of course, $825 billion unaccounted for from the Department of Defense. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
It's in Ukraine.
Well, we're gonna leave it right there. We'll come back. We might pick that up. We're gonna take a quick break here and thank all of our sponsors on the show, and maybe we'll hint on that. And agencies missing money. So stay with us, guys. Here, we're at almost at the top of the hour.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Yeah, hey, look, I got the moves like Michael, the flow like Aubrey, walk around thinking I'm a prince like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, pink up my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
All right, we are back, everybody. Hey, again, thanks to our great sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair. Hey, it's the best place in town, 309 South Washington Street, right there in Bismarck, South Dakota, Bismarck, North Dakota. You can reach them guys at 701-258-6308. You know what? It's getting cold. So if you're having a little trouble, maybe fuel filters need changing, anything like that, give them get a battery. You might need a new battery. So stop in there and see the boys down there at Lauer Auto Repair. And
It'll be 38 here in the morning.
What's that?
Going to be 38 here in the morning. That's cold.
38.
For us,
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I think our highs are maybe that. That says
cold.
right now I'm at
cold
21.
for us Southern folk.
I think it's supposed to get down to about 18 tonight. So, and Deacons, I'm sure you're still tuned in. I know you've been having trouble coming in there, but everything is up and running at the parsonage where you're going to be staying, so the heat should be good. Everything's ready to rock and roll because guess what? We got to have heat here. That's how that works, Vance. You remember.
I do remember. I had 2 sources of heat at my houses.
Other than hot air, right? Anyway, all right, we'll get to a few of these. We do have a badass of the week for you guys. So, I mean, thanks to Mike for getting that done. Deke does a great job on those. And it's Desmond Doss. If you guys don't know who he is, huge guy. I mean, the story there is just it's awesome. And there's a show. What was the name of the movie with him?
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge, yes. If you haven't seen it, that is a very well-made movie. I really highly do recommend that. So I'm going to get to a few of these other comments here. JD says, yeah, it's good versus evil, but the majority of evil is the Democrats and the majority of good is Republicans. So it basically gets back to party voting. There's a lot of truth to that. No, what's that? Boeing? I don't remember what we were talking. American companies that have defense contracts are the real correct. Well, there is that whole war machine and the wartime machine. Yes, we do know that. We know the Cheneys and the Bushes were both involved in that kind of stuff. But and no party is exempt from it, really. It really isn't. Doug says, kind of like 2.3 trillion and missing before 9/11. Mike says, awesome, thanks. Good to see you again. Vance, hey, Axe is glad to see you on here again.
Hey, good to be on.
Okay, and Brian Warner says, please, God, let me get one more.
That's from the movie.
Yes, I'm telling you. I don't want to give it away, but the guy was a hero and he saved a lot of lives. I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil the segment as well.
And Mel Gibson directed that, and Mel said he actually had to downplay some of the heroics because people would think it was just being Hollywooded up.
Really? I did
not know. He said the guy was so unreal that he couldn't even put all of it into a movie.
Well, what he did, and I do feel that he probably had the grace of God watching over him. How else could that happen? I mean, that's just the way that is. So, and the way that he was treated because of his views was even worse.
Yeah,
he was a conscientious objector. Yeah, and that's not popular. It just isn't. So, all right. So, let's see. You know what? We are just at the top of the hour. Did you bring any stories you wanted to kind of go over? Any articles or things you had?
No.
I think I'm going to hit on this quick. I don't know. I'm trying to decide. And then we'll probably do the badass of the week after that. How about that?
Yeah.
I want to make sure we get that in here. By the way, the money missing, like I said, it was over like $825 billion with a B, unaccounted for from our Defense Department, and they failed their 7th audit. Now, that's just one agency. Well, I wonder what's the rest of them. I'm kind of hoping that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, did I pronounce that right?
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
But anyway, I hope they go in there and they start finding all these things because I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. If I had people in charge of something in my corporation and they couldn't account for $100,000, we're going to have a problem. Can you imagine $825 billion and fail your audit in your department? Because that's what you are. You're a department.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I'm in a position where I have to, have company credit cards and stuff, and I have to order things, and I'm over some financial situations in my job, and I've got a folder full of receipts. I have them on my phone. I have them in my folder. I have them in files. I have to account for every dime I spend, and I have to watch my guys for everything. I have to hold them accountable for what they spend. Yep. I can't imagine, and I'm, $10 is off. I want to know why.
Well, you have
to answer for that.
Absolutely. And
billions of dollars?
Yeah, billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Yeah. And I mean, and this isn't just one administration's fault. This has been going on for decades. We've seen it. It's like the movie Independence Day. You don't think a toilet seat costs $1 million, do you? So, that wasn't the exact quote, but you're getting at what I'm getting at. You know, some of these things that get funded that we probably don't know about, I'm sure that's why it's unaccounted for. But there's got to be better accountability than that. That's a lot of money. I don't care what era it's in. That's a lot of money. Yeah, JD says, hey, when you work at a convenience store and you can't account for 20 missing in the till, your ass is grass. Yeah, exactly. And that's, nobody else gets away with this in the private world. They try. They might get away with it for a while, but eventually it catches up to them. So
I mean, who holds these people accountable? What consequences are for that $150 million?
Obviously, nobody right now, or it wouldn't have happened. And that's probably, that's why, unaccounted money in the billions, really. That's your federal government. So, all right, I'm going to do this one, and this has been touched on before. It's just because it kind of gives it it has popped up again because there's other cases going to be references. And this has to do with one it was a district court in Kansas. They ruled here just as it was the end of August, beginning of September. This was actually a continuation, I believe, from the March or the May case, that the federal law prohibiting the possession of machine guns, in parentheses, failed the test set out by New York State and Rifle Association versus Bruin, the Bruin decision that happened in 2022. Now, we have referenced this, I don't know how many times right here. I've referenced it on this show. We've referenced it on Dakota Mornings. We've referenced it on Mitchell in the Morning because it is that relevant. Bruin changed everything, Vance. I mean, and who do we have to thank for that? Mr. President Donald Trump. He put the justices on there that upheld the Second Amendment. And that is what happened. Without him and his appointments, we wouldn't have these decisions. And Bruin is setting the standard. And when they made that decision, one of the most important parts of that was a historical reference and use. And let's face it, the guns have been around for centuries, not just decades, centuries. They've been around in one form or another. So this has gotten really good. Right now, the court has found the Second Amendment applies to weapons charged because they are bearable arms within the original meaning and intent of the amendment, that being the second. Court further finds that the government has failed to establish that this nation's history of gun regulation justifies the application of 18 U.S. Code 9220 to this defendant. And in this case, this defendant is the United States versus Morgan, who happens to be Tamaroy Morgan. He was charged with 2 counts of possessing a machine gun, and then in parentheses, it's got here, a machine gun and a full auto switch machine conversion device in violation of the federal law. Okay, so we've had the bump stock overturned, right? We've had Bruin upheld. We've had Bruin kicked down many, many cases back to the courts for review. They worked their way up. They were either thrown out or upheld and sent on and then appealed, and then, of course, overturned at the Supreme Court. This has been huge, and it's going to be huge for decades because there's so many cases out there. Illinois, they're facing some big ones again, too. So the simple terms of this is the name of the judge is Judge John Brooms, determined that federal law was unconstitutional as it applied to the defendant's specific case, this being Tamaroy Morgan. He noted that some refer to it as the Bruin 2-part test. First is the Second Amendment must cover an individual's conduct in relation to challenging the constitutionality of a particular law. Second, number 2 of the test, if the burden of the first test is met, then the government or the state must then show that the law or regulation being challenged is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. That sums up Bruin in a nutshell. I mean, it actually the essence of Bruin. You first have to show that it's conduct in relation to challenging the constitutionality of a particular law. Well, that was met here. And second, the burden is that the government must show that the law or regulation being challenged is consistent with the nation's history on firearms. And that's been met. I like what the judge actually come down and said later on in his decision. He says, Brooms also declined to make any finding that machine guns were dangerous and unusual. Now, that was the government's argument. How many times have we heard that, Vance?
Yeah.
They're unusual, they're dangerous, they're weapons of war. I mean, you name it, they've talked about it.
If it looks scary, they want to ban it.
Yeah, exactly. But I love how this judge actually, he went out there and he said, I want to point to the fact that machine guns have been in existence for more than 100 years, with currently over 740,000 plus legally registered machine guns in possession in the United States. That's an important part that this judge, he went and got that info on his own. I mean, that
Yeah.
wasn't really presented in the case when I was reading the case. So he went out there and found out, okay, well, how long a machine gun's been around? And he wasn't wrong. It's over 100 years. Remember, this is 2024 right now.
Yeah.
It goes beyond the turn of the century with machine guns. And the fact that there are over 740,000 legally possessed machine guns, true machine guns, in the United States by private individuals who have a class 3.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it should be a slaughterhouse out there, shouldn't it?
It should be, according to the Democrats.
And I can tell you, when you got one with a fun switch on it, man, is it fun?
Yeah.
And you know, this guy was basically, he had a Glock switch, from what I read, that was the full auto switch machine gun conversion device, which we just saw in the bump stock thing.
Yeah.
That bump stock was overturned and thrown out. I imagine we're going to see things like binary triggers and Glock switches and things follow that same fate, because they're all going to base it on the same premise that case did it, which it's not a machine gun under the NFA. It has been determined that it's not, and the ATF themselves said it wasn't for decades till, of course, Biden got in there. So
Yeah.
I imagine we'll see all of that done. You'll love this, though. Laws such as English laws dating back to the Middle Ages, more than 450 years ago, for the ratification of the Constitution, and nearly 550 years before adoption of the 14th Amendment, were predicated on the manner in which arms were carried or displayed in public, rather than the sole fact of being armed at any event, and had little bearing on the Second Amendment adopted in 1791. So that was the judge's statement to the government's case, saying that cited English law dating back 450 and 550 years, saying, well, here's your historical use. Wait a second. The United States didn't even exist then.
Right.
This is a concept, right? And he pointed that out. They were reaching. They knew that it wasn't right. And, and really looking at that, I think that would say, you look at any event of bearing an arm. Well, this judge says that essentially Bruin protects that right. And we have laws right here in North Dakota. At certain events, you can't have a gun. In certain places, you can't have a gun. I would contend that's not a historical interpretation of the use and of firearms and bearing them, and that them laws are actually unconstitutional.
Yeah,
well, be a good case to have, wouldn't it? Be a fun one to do. But I just want to bring that up because we've had some new developments here. We've had new things pop up again on Bruin, and it's in reference to the NFA. Now, one thing I would love to see, the National Firearms Act go away. Yeah. I think we could convince Trump. I think there's enough people who have Trump's ear. You could get that done. I think that he would sign it. I think you could even possibly get it through the House. I don't think you can get it through the Senate, even with the majority we have. I don't know. Yeah. I just feeling. You got to remember, we had the Hearing Protection Act, which would have got rid of suppressors being classified as an NFA item.
Yeah.
And Trump said he'd sign it. He has said he'll sign it again. Who held that up? Paul Ryan in the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
Think about that. We had the House, we had the Senate, and the White House. Ryan wouldn't pass it. McConnell wouldn't push it. And boom, we did not get it. And it's because of our Republican leadership at that time. And trust, they're still in there. We haven't eliminated. We still got a lot of them to eliminate. So
yeah,
I think we the people need to pressure these people, these reps that work for us, and these senators that work for us. I know Kramer's good with it. Hoeven, I think he'll vote that way just because he knows he can't vote against it. I don't trust the guy, but I think our two senators are good. Thune, I think, would support it, but I don't think he's going to push it. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't know. Let's get to a few of these comments before we go to the bad end. Unless you got something you want to add to that, Vance.
No.
Okay. All right. Talking about the $20. Doug says that anyone involved with DOGE should sign forms that they will not commit suicide. Yeah.
Those coins.
Yes. We will not commit suicide. We did not suicide ourselves.
Hey, right. I actually made money on Doge. Didn't get rich, but I made a little money on Doge.
There you go. Elon, let's see. JD says, Elon has AI bots that protect him now. iRobot type shit. Oh, boy, that's a whole nother. There's a lot of things in that movie have come true since it went out. I love what Deke says. Punt guns for everyone. If you don't know what a punt gun is, please look it up. Punt guns for everything. They just put it this way: waterfowling was a lot different then, wasn't it? With a punt gun. Doug says Elon's form of Skynet does not necessarily make me feel any safer. Skynet, you guys remember Skynet? That's from the Terminator movies, and that's. I mean, you think about all this stuff that was in those movies. It's coming in reality, isn't it? Doug, me neither, but it'll cover his ass. I have zero trust in AI. I'm not a big AI. I know that Mike uses it. Some of this when he's making, like our intros and things like that. There's a use probably for it. I don't have a lot of trust in it either. I don't want a machine thinking, you know what I mean, and learning like that, because what happens when it finally decides that it's going to go beyond us? And I think it would. I don't think there's enough safeguards in it, but let's see. He says, I agree. Out buying at 12 cents stock, you can't hardly go wrong. There you go. That was what you were talking about, Vance?
Yeah, mine was much less than 12 cents. And actually, me and Clifford both made some money on that. Not, like I said, not a whole lot, but did pretty good with it.
Well, I own a good, I guess for a little guy like me, I own a good portion of True Social, or a good chunk of True Social stock, and I bought it at the right price, you could say, and that's been climbing. I knew it would after this. They've come out with something. I will tell you this, so True Social, they got a long ways to go. Remember, it's in its infancy. I didn't buy that stock to trade it. I bought it to hold it and watch it become something bigger. I could sell it and make money right now, but I'm not interested in that. I want to hold on to it. I bought it for the boys. Hopefully someday that'll be something they can say, hey, I'm glad Dad bought this for me when I'm gone, As I think that anything Trump touches, he doesn't do it to fail, does he? I'm not going to say he's going to turn it to gold, but he doesn't like to fail, so I don't think he's going to let it fail. Yeah. That's what I thought on that. So I will tell you this, when it dropped before the election, people were selling it off. If you weren't buying, that was a good day to buy right before the election. It dropped, it tanked out, and then it came right back. So you should buy some. You probably could even do now. Doug says, Vance, you sold, evidently, right?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
I bought and flipped and played with it for a little while and made some money and called it quits.
What was that again? I guess I missed out on this.
It was Dogecoin. If it's up to 12 cents now, I do regret selling when I did. I haven't paid attention to it in years. This was probably 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
About 5 or 6 years ago.
Some kind of, was that a crypto? I'll be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a cryptocurrency thing.
Gotcha.
I wasn't real sure what it was when I was even buying it. It was just so cheap. You could sit there and throw $50-$100 in there and turn around and make $1,000 and
like penny stocks, basically.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, tell you what, I think it's we're gonna take one quick break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do the badass of the week, Desmond Doss. So stay with us here, and we're gonna try to wrap this up. We're probably gonna go a little over an hour and a half, but not much. I'm gonna try to keep it a little shorter. So, all right, here we go.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, we are back. I gotta put this one up here before we go. This Jamie says, speaking of AI and Stallone, remember his telegraphic sex and demolition man?
Yeah.
Most of the movie tech stuff is becoming reality. We need cyborg piercing ammo for ARs. And you know what? I just watched Demolition. Where is my laser gun? I want the phaser guns and the laser guns. We're supposed to have them by now, according to the movies. Where are they?
The government has them.
They probably do, don't they? I mean, in the 80s, Reagan was pushing the Star Wars program. So, hey.
I want my flying car.
Yeah, where are them?
Jetsons lied to us.
They sure did. Although, the Kawasaki four-wheelers back there in the later 90s sure sounded a lot like them. They were horrible. All right, guys. So we got number 19, I guess, week 19. Mike hadn't done a few of these. He's got a great one for us. Desmond Doss, I thought was a great selection. So I think that actually was something suggested from one of our listeners. I don't remember, but so I'll tell you what, we got a great badass coming up. This will be about a little over 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes long. Enjoy this one here, and then we'll come back. We'll probably wrap this baby up. What do you think, Vance?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Here's our badass of the week.
The man who loves walking will get further than the man who only seeks the destination. Embrace the suck and carry on. The difficulty of the challenge determines the quality of the man who comes out the other side.
The future has not been written. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves.
Claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
Hey everybody, welcome to GunsInThe701.com and our weekly Badass of the Week. Every week, time permitting, we try to get you a story of some badass of history that you might not have known of. And we don't want any of the badassery of history to be left in the dustbins of time. So this week, we're going to talk about one that you might know about. If you don't, well, now you do. Desmond Doss, the hero without a gun. Now, Desmond Doss was born February 7th, 1919 in Lynchburg, Virginia. Raised as a devout Seventh-day Adventist, he adhered strictly to the commandments, "Thou shalt not kill," which shaped his pacifist beliefs. Now, despite his strong convictions, Doss felt a patriotic duty to serve his country during World War II. And when war did break out, he enlisted in the Army, but as a conscientious observer, now Doss chose military service despite being offered deferment because of working in the shipyards during the war in Newport News, Virginia. Now, he was sent to Fort Jackson in South Carolina for training with the reactivation of the 77th Infantry Division. Meanwhile, his brother Harold served on the USS Lindsay.
Not to be confused with the USS Lindsey Graham, which is also filled with seamen.
Now, Doss, of course, being an Adventist, refused to carry a weapon into combat because of his personal beliefs. Now, assigned as a combat medic, he was put in the 2nd Platoon, Company B, 1st Battalion, 307th Infantry, 77th Infantry Division. Now, Doss faced significant challenges during his training. His refusal to carry a weapon or work on the Sabbath led to ridicule. harassment from his fellow soldiers. They saw him as a liability and questioned his bravery. However, Doss remained steadfast in his beliefs, earning their respect through his unwavering dedication and resilience. Now, we talked about the ridicule and harassment, physical abuse from some of his comrades, isolation, military discipline, also combat conditions. As a medic, Doss faced the same dangers as any combat soldier without any means to defend himself, and injury and pain, which we'll get to later. Now, while serving in his platoon in 1944 in Guam and the Philippines, his true heroism came during the Battle of Okinawa in 1945, one of the bloodiest battles of the Pacific War. The American forces were tasked with capturing the Medea encampment, known as Hacksaw Ridge.
Want to check out that movie? It's fantastic. Still to this day.
Now, the ridge was heavily fortified by Japanese troops, making it a deadly mission. Not to mention that the Japanese troops had also brought in, children from the island to serve as saboteurs and soldiers as well. Now, on May 5th, 1945, Doss's unit was ordered to retreat after a brutal assault. However, Doss stayed behind. Hearing the cries of wounded soldiers, over the next 12 hours, he braved enemy fire, carrying injured men to the edge of the ridge and lowering them to safety using a rope sling. Now, despite the constant threat of death, Doss saved 75 men that day, earning him the Medal of Honor. But Doss's bravery didn't end there. Throughout the battle, he continued to risk his life to save others, even after being wounded by a grenade and later by sniper fire. His actions were a testament to his courage, faith, and commitment to his fellow soldiers. Now, we talk about his wounds. He suffered a left arm fracture from a sniper bullet while being carried back to Allied lines, and at one point had 17 pieces of shrapnel embedded in his body after attempting to kick a grenade away from himself and his comrades. After the war, Doss continued his career in carpentry, but extensive damage to his left arm made that impossible. In 1946, he was diagnosed with tuberculosis, contracted on one of the isles that he served on, while undergoing treatment for 5.5 years, losing a lung and 5 ribs, before being discharged from the hospital in 1951 with 90% disability. Now, after an overdose of antibiotics rendered him completely deaf in 1976, he was given 100% disability, and he was able to regain his hearing after receiving a cochlear implant in 1988. Despite his injuries, he managed to raise a family on a small farm in Rising Fawn, Georgia. Desmond Doss's story is a powerful reminder of the impact one person can have, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. His legacy lives on as a symbol of selflessness, bravery, and the power of conviction. Desmond Doss faced numerous challenges during his time in the Army, both due to his pacifist beliefs and the harsh realities of war. Despite these challenges, Doss's unwavering faith and determination allowed him to overcome adversity and perform acts of extraordinary heroism. His story is a testament of the power of conviction and the impact of selfless service. Something I think we need to teach more and more of. Selfless service, even if you don't pick up the gun. There are so many duties that can be performed by good citizens. Desmond Doss died on March 23, 2006 at his home in Piedmont, Alabama. Buried in April 3, 2006 in the Chattahooga National Cemetery in Tennessee. And we'll call it truly one of America's most astonishing badasses. Sources for this tale were History.com, Marines.mil, IMDb.com, also Wikipedia, and USWarMemorials.org. Thanks for tuning in for GunsInThe701.com and our Badass of the Week. Every single week we try to come up with a badass in history that needs to be remembered. This one was a good one. And if you got somebody you want to hear about, a guy or gal, somebody in history that needs to be remembered, you can always drop us a line, Mike@GunsInThe701.com. That's Mike@GunsInThe701.com. I'll see about doing a story for it, and I'll definitely let you know if we're going to. Of course, Mike at gunsinthe701.com. And that's it for this time. So, hey, as my friend Clay always says, keep your powder dry and stay safe, you bunch of badasses.
All right. Hey, that was a darn good one again, wasn't it, man?
That's one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite war hero stories. Desmond Doss was a fantastic guy and a true hero.
Yeah, I've read a lot about him after I watched the movie, and I'm like, the guy was amazing. He really was.
Yeah.
And to not carry a rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. They were in some of the most intense fighting that we saw.
Yeah.
And to go onto that battlefield and step on it knowing that you got bullets zinging over you. Bravery, faith. He had the deepest faith, I think. I don't know if I'd have that. I really don't.
I like to think I would, but I don't know, man. I've never seen war, especially to that extent.
Me neither. But that man's faith, that's the only way you could do that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
absolutely. You can be brave, but to do
walk
that
into war, most guys are going to kill, and his whole mindset was to save lives.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. So yeah, thank you, Mike, for doing that. That was a heck of a good badass of the week again, and I will try to get that up as an event. What I usually do is I'll put that out there. Probably do it tomorrow. I'll load it up, or maybe tonight yet. Have it scheduled, and I usually play it 2 or 3 times in a loop so that people get a chance to see it, and then it'll be on all of our social media outlets along with I don't know, I might do it. I haven't been doing it, but maybe I'll take that and I'll grab the audio out of it and put it up on iHeart. Just kind of be an iHeart audio file as well. Kind of good. So hey, just an update. Axe sent me. It is 0.3764, so 38 cents is what it's at right now. I just thought I'd lighten up your day a little bit there. So.
Oh man.
There you go. You missed out on the big one.
It was under a penny when I bought it.
Yeah. What it looks like. If I looked
I
at
might
that,
still have some. I better look on my app and see.
Yeah, that's 37.64 cents. Not quite 38 cents. Right there.
Oh, man.
All right. You just ruined his whole night there, Axel. Good job.
Yeah, that did.
Anyway. All righty. Well, again, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up. I'm not like Rush. I can't say my formerly nicotine stained hand. Although I do enjoy a good cigar once in a while. Here's our happy ending of the week. Comes from Mississippi, Lowndes County. On Saturday, deputies responded to a disturbance just at Highway 12. The E911 dispatchers informed them while they were en route that shots had been fired at this location. So I did do a little bit of looking into this because I always try to go find the local stories, not just the ones that come through the feed I get. Anyway, upon arrival, deputies discovered a male subject with a gunshot wound to the upper arm. Witnesses reported that the individual, who had been residing in a camper on the property, engaged in a verbal altercation with his girlfriend. So the backstory is evidently this guy lived on the property with his camper. The way it kind of sounded to me that it's the parents of the girlfriend. That wasn't clear, but that's sure what it sounded like to me. And he was living there, and then she was there, and she'd get mad, and he was not a nice man. Authorities had been there multiple times for domestic disturbances, and then she'd run into the house. Anyway, the confrontation escalated when he forcibly entered her residence, which would have been the home on the property, and a family member, fearing for their life, discharged a firearm, striking the intruder once. After the shooting, a family member called 911 and administered aid to this injured man. Despite the efforts, though, the man succumbed to his injuries and died. He assumed room temperature. And so the guy had a rap sheet. I did find that out. I always like to go get the background of these stories.
Right.
It kind of sounded like he just wasn't a nice man, not a nice individual. And I don't know how these women get attached to these guys. Sounded like there was even some charges, complaints made, but charges never filed because they wouldn't sign the complaints. for abuse, things like that. Sounded like he had some issues with probably drugs and alcohol as well. Like I said, they were known to the sheriff's office because of multiple calls.
Yeah.
Multiple family members were present during the incident and corroborated the sequence of events that took place. Authorities are currently investigating the case under Mississippi's Stand Your Ground law, which does permit individuals to use deadly force if they reasonably believe it is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. I think this is a great situation to show, though, that if you've got something like that, I don't know. If I had a daughter, which I don't, I got boys, and I've taught my boys better than this. If I had a daughter and I knew that some piece of crap scumbag was beating her or abusing her or assaulting her, I sure as hell wouldn't let him live on my property. And I think that the way it sounded with the multiple times that the cops visited this residence, I think I'd have put him under 6 feet long before I'm guessing that it doesn't say who did it because it's under investigation, but I imagine it was the father, and he finally had enough. I mean, the guy tried to break into the house to get to the girlfriend. I'd have tolerated it that long, but I don't understand it. I just don't understand how women get they get into this and then stay with them. I just don't understand it. But I guess I've taught my boys better than that. They better never do it. They can deal with me. They won't have to worry about the woman's father. So, that is our happy ending. I look at it this way: whoever did it, they took an abuser, they took an addict of different man-made substances or not, and that he had a problem with, and we eliminated basically a violent person. I think that that probably would have ended up there or worse. I think that without that protection from the Stand Your Ground law, I think that you would have saw something even worse happen. So that's my happy ending of the week for tonight. So that's all I have on that.
Right.
Unless you've got one.
I do not.
You don't? Nothing in Georgia?
Well, the happy ending for me is the November 5th.
There we go. That's everybody's happy ending, wasn't it, this month?
But I guess it'd be January 20th would be the happy ending.
Yeah, I did. I did finally take my one of my revolutionary flags down. I've been flying those and Trump flags for the last 4 years, and I put the American flag. I rose it with a Trump flag underneath of it proudly. I need a bigger flagpole is what I need. I don't think enough people can see it yet. Anyway, so and then come January, that's going to be. I think I'm going to fly my Betsy Ross flag on the 20th. That's fitting. Anyway, so okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try to get it all downloaded, get it uploaded to all of our platforms on iHeart and Spotify. When we put it out there, it goes everywhere. But we really encourage you to go to iHeart, mostly because we're on KFYR, and that's an iHeart radio station. And of course, Mitchell in the morning coming up 7:15 in the morning on Mountain Time, 8:15 Central, right there on KFYR 5:50 a.m. We will broadcast. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Actually, I might not be broadcasting that one because I got to make my way up to Bismarck that morning. I may go up there and be in studio and then just go on to our state Farm Bureau convention. So I'm not going to say I'm going to broadcast it from here. Nothing else. I'll get it re-uploaded from the iHeart file, get it up there so everyone can see it and hear it. Anyway, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. I don't know what Todd and I are going to talk about. We've been kind of winging it. It seems like it's been a lot more fun, so we might just do a little of that too again. And of course, the beginning of the month coming up in December, everybody. We're on Dakota Mornings. I believe that's going to be December 2nd. We'll have to talk to Michael, make sure that's a confirmation. But we've been on once a month, the first Monday of every single month. Dakota Mornings, right there on KFYR with Michael Bell on 5:50 a.m. So stay tuned. We'll give you more information on that. Again, I'm not going to be doing any Christmas shows because that just doesn't really make any sense to me. Well, I wouldn't want to tune in on Christmas. I'm going to be with my family, so I won't be doing Christmas or New Year's. Jamie said he might do a Tuesday. I do know that the 27th, that's the day before Thanksgiving. I haven't decided yet either. I don't know what I got. There's a lot of people coming home for Thanksgiving this year, so I'll let you kind of know. If I don't, maybe I'll be calling one of you guys, see if you want to fill in. But I'll watch
on Christmas Day.
What's that?
I'll be working in Houston on Christmas Day.
Oh, well, at least it'll be warm.
Yeah.
I watched the social medias, and Mike's got a good idea. Maybe do a badass marathon.
There you go.
Oh, there's a good idea. Just put them all out there and let them run on a loop. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll announce it on Friday what we're doing. That's a good idea. I do like that. We have them all saved, so that's what our plans are. Again, encourage everybody Friday morning. Tune in Mitchell in the morning, and it's the last weekend of North Dakota deer season, so this will be your last chance. And please respect the landowners. It's been kind of bad out there. It really has around here. So please get out there and please respect the landowners if you can. By the way, Trampus, he said the 3 seashells, we were talking about demolition man. I said, yeah. I said, I still don't know how to use them. He just sent me a picture on how to use them. So, but I won't put that up here just now because I don't want to download it and upload it. But evidently there is a way to use the 3 seashells from demolition man. I did not know that. So thanks, Trampus. I'll have to talk to you about that when I'm up there at the Farm Bureau meeting because I know Trampus will be representing our county as well. Anyway, with that, I guess I'm about ready to sign off. You got anything you need to depart everybody with? Any good advice? No,
keep your powder dry.
Keep your powder dry. That's right. Keep your powder dry.
The fight's not over just because Trump won.
No, it's not.
We got to be diligent at the smaller levels as well, and keep voting to put the right people in place so that we don't have to go through this mess again.
Absolutely,
the fight's not over.
We won a battle. We won a big one. I mean, it was a turning point battle. But I'm telling you right now, this war is far from over, and that's what we're in. We're in a war.
Yeah, local elections, city, county, state. You got to stay diligent.
And they still tried. We saw what happened in Pennsylvania. Finally, the Supreme Court put a stop to it. So they didn't learn anything out there other than that it was too big to rig.
Yeah.
And I think Charlie Kirk and Turning Point were a big part of that. They had that other guy out there, forget his name. He did. He was out there just registering people left and right, and he was pretty instrumental in that as well. And they had people on the ground all over. I can tell you this. I think that some of these senators like John Thune better get ready because the Charlie Kirk organization, Turning Point USA, they're planning to primary some of these people in 26 and 28. So get ready for it. He said here just the other day, he goes, we're not done. We're just getting started. And I do believe that. That guy's motivated, and he should be. He's young. He can do it. He's got the network to do it. And I think if you're able to help volunteer or do what you need to, and by the way, they have paid positions when you get closer to elections to go around and do these things. And you might as well go out there and make some cash doing it. They are serious about it, and hats off to them. And trust me, I think they're coming to North and South Dakota to try and change some things. So I tip my hat to them. But there was something else I was going to mention. I forgot it. Oh, well, I guess must not have been too important. Oh, I'm going to be out hunting tomorrow, so wish us luck. Leighton's going to be sick tomorrow from school. So still got tags here to fill. I'm after a certain one that I didn't know was on the place. I've gotten up to him, but not close enough to do anything. He's pretty smart. So I'll give it a little bit, but I do plan to pull the trigger on something tomorrow because I do want some meat regardless. So even if I don't find the one I'm looking for, I'm probably going to pop a doe. So I got a little meat here. I got beef, but I still like my deer meat. And I know Leighton wants to get one. And I think I found him just the right buck. So I know where that one went tonight. Hopefully we can get on him in the morning and then fill his tag. So looking forward to it. And we got to get you up here. Maybe you need to come up and do a little late season, either pheasant or coyote or something, huh?
I need to get up there. Definitely need to get up there. I was watching a show last night and was just, man, I miss that country. I miss my people. I miss that country. I miss being up there.
Oh, it's fun, isn't it? I love it up here too. I mean, it gets cold, but I don't know if I could live anywhere else permanently. This is home. So. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate everybody. Numbers were good tonight again. I appreciate everybody supporting the show. Go over to GAT701 at Facebook. Again, GAT701 Facebook page. Like it, follow it, share it, invite your friends. We got to rebuild that because we lost our main page. Yes, we have our backup, and some of you, I can see you're tuned in over there tonight, so we appreciate you over that. Sturm Guns in a 701 because we had to disguise it, but please go over to GAT701, like it, follow, and share it, and invite your friends. We can't go live till December. Jamie's got the date. I forget what it is. We can't go live because we're a new page. So at least that's a good thing. They probably won't nix us. Again, go over there and then pump up those watch hours for us on YouTube. We're, I think, just shy now. I think we've gained over 150 watch hours. So appreciate you doing that. Keep doing it. And let's see if we can't get us over that 4,000 watch hour number. All right. Everybody, thank you much. Thanks to everybody over there in Rumble. I see we had about 10 people over there. We appreciate it. Someday I hope that we're able to get the live chats to go right into there. That is one of the downfalls. And I see we had a couple people on our actual website at gunsofthe701.com. With that, everybody keep your powder dry and have a great weekend hunting. Take
God
care.
bless.